Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Thursday, November 18th, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. This will be our fifth draft of Innistrad Crimson Vow, otherwise known as Innistrad Crimson Wow, those rares on the other side of the battlefield are good. So let's see if we can find one ourselves, and of course we don't as we open another land. So let's see what we've got here in Pack 1, Pick 1. Repository Scob. Was impressed by that card last draft, so probably the best common here. Again, don't like Imprisonment. Sigardian Paladin, really good in green-white. Don't like taking a gold card this early. Honeymoon Hearse, I'm not sure this really has a home in the format. Maybe in red-white aggro or something like that, but you have to tap your creatures to really crew it at all. Catapult Fodder, good in green-black, not much else. This is almost a green-black gold card, and this is almost a green-white gold card. I think I want to lean on the aggressive side. I'm not usually a fan of taking gold cards this early, but maybe we should just go with the Scob and the fact that it's a blue card. It can go in blue-black. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and go with the Scob here. I think it leaves us a little bit more open and doesn't pigeonhole us with a gold card first pick there, right? So let's see here. 2 mana, 2/1 flyer. When it becomes the target of a spell you control, draw a card. I don't think that's going to be happening very often, so it's basically just a 2 mana, 2/1 flyer. We have... what else do we have? Pretty underwhelming pack. We have Twinblade Geist. Decent exploit fodder already for the Scob, and blue-white is a deck I want to try out. I think it's probably among the better archetypes here. Just getting Disturb, even if they're not necessarily creatures, still seems like a good enough deal that it's a good enough deck to get into. I mean, if it weren't for those two cards, maybe Heron of Hope, but this seems like you need to go down more of a life gain route here, so I think we're going to go ahead and go with the Twinblade Geist and see where that leads us. So we have another Repository Scob here. There is a Cloaked Cadet. This isn't a human. Little bit regretting not taking the Sigardian Paladin first pick now that we see this, but I don't think we could really consider it with it being a blue card there. Or I mean a gold card, sorry. We have Chill of the Grave and another Repository Scob. A Binding Geist. A Binding Geist wheeling with 2 Scobs would be pretty good here. Evolving Wilds being fine. Sanguine Statuette. I don't think this is good enough of a card to really consider it. Sometimes it's just 2 mana make a blood token and it doesn't do much more. So I think I'm going to take another Scob here. Okay, so more blue, Chill of the Grave, Lantern Bearer, and Skywarp Scob. I do really like Arm the Cathars. I don't know if this deck is looking to be super aggressive, however. Right, we already have 2 Scobs which want us to be exploiting other creatures. So I think we need to take great exploit fodder in Lantern Bearer. I mean, look, we're already... if we go Lantern Bearer, Twinblade Geist, get 2 Scobs, sack them both. We have 2... enchantments in our graveyard that we can then use, and then we'll hopefully pick up things like Chill of the Grave to get back with the Scob as well, going with a little bit of a blue-white grindiness here. So let's go ahead and take Lantern Bearer. Alright, so we have another Repository Scob. There's also a Chill of the Grave. Distracting Geist. Whenever it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. So this is much more of an aggressive card. Wanderlight Spirit. Don't think it's for us. Kindly Ancestor. So we are seeing some really good blue-white cards. A lot of them having Disturb, which is great. I want to stay with the Scob here. I'm not married to the Twinblade Geist. We're not seeing a lot of black, but if we do see exploit fodder, we can get back into blue-black here. I think the Scob is good enough, and maybe even we can consider getting into blue-red if we see some good instants or sorceries in blue-red. So I'm going to take one more Scob here. Best card in the pack here is probably the Spider. And this wants creature cards in our graveyard, and then the Scob can really help us do that. We've seen a lot of Evolving Wilds here. Nurturing Presence, no. Piercing Light, no. Retrieval, don't think we need that. None of these. Maybe Reckless Impulse to go with the Scob, but I think I'm actually going to go with the Vile Spawn Spider. If we do that, we look to get into green-blue. We have nothing but creatures so far to go with the Spider. And a 2-mana 2/3 reach is just good, right? So here we go. Chill of the Grave goes great with the Scobs, right? Socialite and Grizzly Ritual, meaning blue-black, could also be open. Not seeing any green here. Bramble Armor being the only green card, something I'm not looking to play. So let's go ahead and take Chill of the Grave and stay blue. Great sign here. So we have Stitched Assistant and Wretched Throng. Wretched Throng being great exploit fodder. Stitched Assistant being another good exploit creature. Only thing about Wretched Throng is that in order for it to be playable, you really need probably about 3. And this is the only one going to be in pack 1 because I don't remember seeing any earlier. Persistent Specimens being exploit fodder, but I don't know if that's what we're going for. I'm going to go with the Assistant. We have a lot of exploit creatures, and we almost don't really need any more after this. So we can really look for some expendable, cheap exploit creatures. Not exploit creatures, but creatures to be sacrificed to the triggers. Going forward here. Okay, so first pack, Wheeling, Catapult Fodder. We've seen this come back a lot. 3-mana 1/5, Wanderlight Spirit, and Nature's Embrace. I don't think we need to get into red for either of these cards. I'm just going to cut blue here. We'll go ahead and take another blue card. I think we can get as far down blue as we can. And here's a great pickup, Chill of the Grave, to go with our 3 Scobs. And we'll go with another. I don't think this card should be available 12th pick. So I think this card's actually better than it looks. How about a 4th one? An Alchemist Retrieval. So I think blue is wide open here. And on that note, we're going to be either blue-white or blue-black splashing Edgar Charmed Groom, because this card's insane. We may not have a ton of other vampires, but this card never dies. When it dies, it turns into an artifact that pumps out 1/1 lifelinkers, and then when it has 3 or more, you turn it back into Edgar. So the only thing that kills this is exile removal. So I think we just have to take that. Would love to have a Screaming Swarm. Lantern Bearer would be great. But again, I think we need to take Edgar Charmed Groom here. So let's go ahead and take that. Would love to have one of those 3 Evolving Wilds we saw in the first pack. So let's hope at least one more gets open now that we're looking to splash Edgar. So if we do splash Edgar here, I think the Spider is looking to get out. I'd still love to stay as far down blue as we can. And on that note, we have Cemetery Prowler, which is another great card, but doesn't really go with Edgar here. We do have Cruel Witness with 6 instants. We have another Stitched Assistant or a Doomed Dissenter. So I was talking about needing some good exploitable creatures for Repository Scob and Stitched Assistant, which Doomed Dissenter is. If we take Cemetery Prowler, I don't think there's a world where we can play both Cemetery Prowler and Edgar in the same deck, and I think Edgar is better. So there's an argument for taking either of these blue cards, but I'd like to see if we can get into blue-black splash white possibly, because the Doomed Dissenter is a premium exploitable target here. Skywarp Scob, Foreboding Statue, and Diagraph Scavenger. Foreboding Statue is an interesting one. So 3 mana for a 1/2 mana dork. And then you can transform it at the end of your end step. And because it's a mana dork, and we want to splash Edgar, I think we need to go ahead and take the statue. Would love to have a Scavenger in the deck. Don't mind playing Scob either. But because of the fixing, I'm going to go ahead and take the statue here. Edgar's Awakening. So you can reanimate a creature, or you can somehow discard this, presumably to blood tokens, to return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. I don't know if that's necessarily good enough. Because Edgar is the only thing we're really excited about reanimating, and it never goes to the graveyard. Unless it gets milled. So, Undying Malice, Spirit, and Syncopate. We can either take Spirit or Syncopate here. I think I'm going to go ahead and go... Because we're lacking interaction right now, I'm going to go ahead and go with Syncopate to try to counter some of those bombs before they hit the battlefield. So we have Scob, Aim for the Head, Courier Bat, Gluttonous Guest. I don't think Lantern is what we're looking for. I think we can go ahead and take the Skywarp Scob here. Courier Bat being good in life gain, of which we do not have. Except the back of this can produce life gainers. Gluttonous Guest. I mean, I'm not sure where this exactly fits. It fits in life gain, it fits in black-red, but black-red's looking to be aggressive. This is not an aggressive card. So, another Chill of the Grave. 2 mana 3/3 Defender. Let's see here. So we have Lantern Bearer to give flying. We have 3 Scobs. I don't think we need a 5th Chill of the Grave, at least not now. So let's go ahead and take Spirit. Maybe I would play 5, but we don't necessarily need that. Let's get some interaction here with Gift of Fangs. And I think we're looking to be heavy blue, a little bit of black, splashing Edgar. Laid to Rest being another, I think, really good card. Seems very difficult to play against. If the opponent drops this on the battlefield, it's hard to figure out exactly what to do in combat. But we're going to go ahead and take Gift of Fangs here. Looking for some black removal. That would be really helpful. So we have a 2 mana exploit creature, another Scob. We have 7 instants. So what are we looking to get back with our Scobs? Something like basically Chill of the Graves. So we're just being an enormous value deck. Right? I don't know exactly what to do. 4 Scobs, 4 drops. Seems a little on the overkill side, but we'll keep cutting blue here. Witness the Future. Don't think it's for us. We can take Selhoff and Tumor again, something we can sacrifice. Dread Fugue, Rot-Tide, Gargantua. Let's go ahead and take this. I don't know if we'll play it. We have a lot of exploit, but not a lot of creatures that we want to be exploiting. So we need to be prioritizing those going forward. Doesn't matter. Undying Malice, Blood Servitor, Ceremonial Knife. I don't know if we'll play the Malice, but we can take it here. And going into pack 3, we need cheap exploitable creatures and interaction. Right? So, how many lands have we opened to this format so far? Evolving Wilds would be great. But we have Hero's Downfall here. We have Gift of Fangs in Wedding Security. I don't think Wedding Security is for us. 2 blue cards. I think we need to take the interaction, the unconditional removal spell to get rid of some of those rares on the other side of the battlefield. Would love to wheel Wilds or Gift of Fangs here. Maybe even a Blood Fountain. Let's go ahead and take Hero's Downfall. So as far as fixing for Edgar right now, we have just the Foreboding Statue, and that's it. So we would need to play 2 planes to really make this work. Hoping to pick up a couple more sources of fixing. Dual land, but not the one for us. We have another Scob, Stitched Assistant, and Undying Malice. Don't want Dread Fugue here. We have a lot of 3 drops already, although hopefully these will end up being more 2 drops than 3. Don't know if we even want to play the Wanderlight Spirit, so rather than take a 5th Scob, I think we'll go ahead and take a 2nd Assistant here. If this were a black-white or blue-white land, which honestly I don't even know exists in this set, they might have been in Midnight Hunt, I would definitely take that instead. But alright, really good Screaming Swarm here. Really like this card. I think it's very potent. It's almost a must-kill when it comes down. So we'll go ahead and take that. Might consider playing a farmer if it were to wheel, but go ahead and take Screaming Swarm. Alright, so my goodness, all of the repository scobs this draft. Gutter Skulker. This can be a win con in itself right here, right? So we have 16 creatures. I mean, we just drop this, kind of sit back behind our Chill of the Graves and recurring them over and over again. And then just get in with this over and over. And if they kill it, then we just put it on something else, right? I think I would play a Grisly Ritual in this deck. We're still a little light on interaction, except for Chill of the Graves, but that doesn't solve everything, does it? So, I mean, speaking of another one, I think we should take it here. I don't think we need another 6-drop. We're not discarding cards, really. So, we'll take another Chill of the Grave, and I think lean on Edgar and all the recursion of the scobs in this deck here. Wanderlight Spirit, Syncopate, Ragged Recluse. Let's go ahead and take Syncopate, considering we're going to be leaving up mana for Chill quite a bit, so we can afford to have another Syncopate in this deck, I think. Stitched Assistant, Cradle of Safety, Lunar Rejection. I think we need to take Lunar Rejection here. It's a 4-mana bounce spell, draw a card, or 2 mana to bounce a wolf or werewolf, draw a card. I think that's good enough in this deck. So, looks like we kind of struck out on cheap exploitable creatures. Soul Cipher board. Let's see, 2 mana, 3 counters, top 2 cards put 1 into your graveyard. Whenever a creature card is put in your grave from anywhere, then you can flip it into a 3/2 flyer. It's a little slow. I'll take another creature here. We have Evolving Wilds. Great, it wheeled. So this is going to be great. So we can go ahead and get the Evolving Wilds to find that Plains for Edgar. There might have been one more. Don't think it came back here. Don't think we're playing any of this. So let's put that in the sideboard. Ambush or Phalanx, doesn't matter. Alright. So as we head to deck building here, is this a glitch? In Limited, you're supposed to be able to play as many copies of this as you can get. That looks to be a glitch. It's going to be very disappointing if we aren't allowed to play all 5 here. So let's see. I think we only need 2 Plains and the Wilds and the statues, so that's 4 sources for Edgar. We might even be able to get away with 1 Plains, honestly, because I think we need more blue sources. So let's go ahead and do that. I honestly think we can still play 5. We have Siphon Essence to counter. Lunar Rejection bounces. Don't think we need Retrieval. We could play double Syncopate, but we'll see what we need to cut from over here. Hero's Downfall. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So now we go back over here. Lantern Bearer, yes. Entomber seems fine. Spirits, Dissenter. These are almost 3 mana 3/2s. So I'll go ahead and cut 1 because we have a lot of exploit creatures, but we're not exploiting a lot of things. This is pretty much all we have. I don't think we need that. So we have 15, 16, 17 lands, so we still need 4 more cuts. How many instants and sorceries? We have 10 instants in this deck because of the chills. So I wonder if we're going to be circling through our deck enough here to worry about decking often enough to run more than 40 cards. I rarely advise doing that. But let's see. So this could draw a card. This doesn't necessarily draw cards, but the 5 chills do. These could both draw cards here. No, I don't think we're really at risk of doing much of that. So could probably go ahead and cut 1 Syncopate. I don't know if we need 4 Scobs. I think we can go down to 3 here. We could probably cut a chill, although I'm curious to see if it would even let us submit a deck with 5. It won't. Alright, so that looks to be a glitch in the system right now. You're supposed to be able to play as many of these as you can get in Limited, so we'll see if they fix that anytime soon. Last cut here, so it looks like we kind of want these to be over here because we have a good amount of zombies that we'll have on the board. Wanderlight Spirit can protect us from flyers and can also get in for some damage. So how are we winning these games? I think it's going to be between Gutter Skulker, Edgar, and then all the recursion that we get from Repository Scobs. And then flying over with a couple big flyers here. So there is a chance that Wanderlight Spirit fits well in this deck in the fact that we need to kind of fly over the top here. What else could we cut? Let's see. So this is almost never going to be attacking, but again, I think it's just a fine defensive creature. It holds down the board while we're flying over the top, you know? Selhoff and Tumor, I don't think we're really going to be wanting to discard creature cards. I know it kind of ups our curve a little bit more, but I think that's what we're going for. So I don't think the Entomber is necessarily what we're going for. So I think we're going to run it back like this. And hope that Edgar and all of the value can kind of bring us over the edge here. All right, great curve here. So 2 into 4. We could chill if we need to before that. Actually, we go 2. Chill something, Repository Scop, get that back, sacking this, and then we can even do it again. That's exactly what this deck is looking to do. The perfect mana. Yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead and chill on their turn just so we can get value from the Scob on the next turn by sacking the Doom to center rather than playing the Spirit. This allows for a better curve out. So we'll go ahead and do that. I think we'll go ahead and take 2 if they choose to attack so that we can tap down their post-combat play, and then which is probably going to be a better creature than this one. So we'll just go ahead and take 2 here. And if they don't play anything, we'll just keep that tapped. Yeah, so we don't want them to be training or have any chance to train with that. Interesting. So I said we could play the Scob to get this back, but I'm wondering if just dropping Edgar is better. In fact, I think it is. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Next turn we can get the Scob down if we really need to. And hopefully if they do have the enchantment removal spell, we can just sacrifice it to the Scob and then it'll flip. So exile is the only thing we're worried about here. On Edgar specifically. Okay, so they have their own Gutter Skulker. So let's go ahead and get back that Chill of the Grave here. And no attacks, because we're not interested in trading for a Gutter Skulker. They can start attacking with that, but we have almost infinite Chill of the Graves to just keep it tapped if we really need to. So they don't attack with the Skulker. Interesting. Okay, so they're going to go for the Flying Game plan as well. A bit awkward with our mana here. I usually like doing this on their turn because it keeps it tapped for 2 turns, but because this draws a card and we're really looking for a 3rd mana, I almost feel like we need to do this main phase. Yeah, we really need that 3rd mana here, so let's go ahead and tap that down and really hope we draw a land, and we do. Now we can play a good blocker for the Griff Rider. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Still no attacks. Edgar doesn't seem to be able to attack super well here. Another flyer. Okay, so they're just... Alright, so we're not able to put a ton of pressure on them here is the problem. So... In fact, next turn they can attack us for 6, and then this can start getting there. Repository Scop gets back the chill, so we can do that when we get to 6 mana. For now, I think we'll be mana efficient. Play the Spirit. So if we attack with Edgar here, they could theoretically block with the Geist and the Slayer. We kill the Geist, Edgar flips. Because of the amount of flyers that they have, I think we're almost priced into doing that. So... yeah, let's go ahead and attack like this. Yeah, and if they want to trade, I think I'm okay with that. They're just chumping. Oh, that's right, it has Vampire Death Touch. Okay, so now get the assistant or the statue. This eventually becomes a 5/5 when you get that clock going here, so. Yep. So here we go to 7. We have no other flyers, so.
I bring my own army.
Alright, so we can start sacrificing these to exploit as well. Fortunately, the Chill of the Grave still can't tap something down. So, go ahead and place... do we need to make any attacks first? So let's go to combat. To attackers, we'll attack with the 3/3. It's the only good attack we have, so let's get in there. So this does actually add a mana, so we can tap it down with Chill of the Grave. So I think we have to do that to basically not die. Although the Gutter Skulker is going to be able to do the same thing, so we're kind of fighting an uphill battle here. That's kind of fighting a losing battle. So if we tap down the Geist, they can attack with Skulker, take 3. They could also attack with both Geists and the Griff Rider, which would train that, but that's not great for them. So let's... I don't know what's technically correct here, but we'll go with one of the Geists. I think we're taking 3 no matter what, because they can go with the Skulker. Okay, so they are going to train that, but we can block that with the Spirit. I think we have to do. Yeah, and they're getting flyers. We're drawing all the lands.
Deal.
So next turn we are just dead. So let's go ahead. So we have Hero's Downfall in the deck, so let's go ahead and sacrifice, see if we can find basically just that. It's not it. There's our own Gutter Skulker, but that won't do it because they can attack for 6 in the air. So we are just dead. Okay. Not exactly sure where that game went wrong, but we were kind of seemingly fighting an uphill battle the entire game there. Seems like another good curve here. Play 1 drop, counter their 2 drop, chill their 3 drop, and return it. I think we are just going to go ahead and counter whatever they play here while we have the mana up. If they do. So now we have counter up again, or chill. Either one. Yeah, that needs to be countered. So now we can get the Scob down, sacrifice the Spirit, return our counter spell. The next turn we'll be able to hold up Syncopate or Chill. If we draw a land, we can hold up Syncopate while also giving this flying. Okay. See now, just a 4-mana 3/3. I don't like not getting the value by just replaying this. Same thing with this. So I think I'm actually going to be a little bit mana inefficient here and play Wanderlight Spirit. Now if they cast a spell, we're going to get priority for Syncopate for X equals... Okay, they're just off it. Seems like the only way we can win in this format is when our opponent gets mana screwed. Yep, seems like a good curve here. Syncopate can actually counter their 3-drop in this hand. Because we're on the draw. Sure. Pretty good aggressive card for them, but they're going to be taking 1 here, so we need to kind of find a way to remove that. Yeah, that needs to not resolve. So we could take 3 next turn, and we're not guaranteed a land drop, so I think we need to play our Mana Dork here. And then we can start chilling that if we need to. No blocks. So for those of you that haven't played with an effect that deals 1 damage to you every turn, oh my gosh. I'm over that card. It's actually a lot more punishing than it seems, because all I have to do is play a 4/4 on this board, and if they don't have removal, then this is just kind of sitting there, dealing 1 to them every single turn, right? So it's not... It's very good on this board, obviously, because they're going to get in for probably 9 damage at least with it. But right now, let's see, so we can be pretty mana inefficient no matter what we do. We cast 3 drops, kill the Shaman, we can play Gutter Skulker, but then we're not blocking. We can play Scob, and we have just a counterspell to exploit, and I don't want to get rid of this. So... let's see, do we want to kill the Shaman now? I think we need to Chill of the Graves something, so that we can guarantee a land drop next turn. So let's pass. This doesn't necessarily guarantee a land drop, but it help us get there. So let's go ahead and tap. Let's go ahead and tap the Reaver, because I think we're going to be priced into removing the Shaman with Hero's Downfall prior to them getting to 6 mana. And instantly made a mistake because I didn't read the card, so when this attacks, they get to go and find another land, assuming they have 3 colors, which is not great for us. So let's hope they don't have that. And they don't, so we got lucky there. Didn't get punished for the misplay. And if we miss a land here, then we're in big trouble, because we can't make 2. Yeah, so even now, we're in big trouble. So, because if we hit a land, we can't cast 2 creatures, and I mean, really all we can do is remove the Shaman, so that if they hit a land drop, they can't use its activated ability. The Graph Reaver doesn't untap. And hopefully we can stabilize. Okay, so they seem to have missed again. So we could play a 4-mana 3/3 that allows us to keep this up again, which I think is beneficial. Yeah, because we are on the defensive, so I'm not going to just exploit here. I'm going to pass, and I'm going to tap down the Reaver again. Don't feel like trading for it necessarily, because it's, at this point, it's a detriment to them. You don't have an instant. Oh my gosh, what the hell does this do? Okay, so we're gonna have to be tapping that one down now. So let's go ahead and play the Skulker. We'll do it on upkeep so they don't draw some in anything. And now we basically need to win prior to this untapping. Okay. So at least we can bounce this once it does untap. So we have 7 mana. We can put the Aura on the Scob and play a 3/2. And then at this point, I think we do need to be blocking the Graph Reaver. So let's go ahead and put the Aura here. We'll play an Assistant that we will plan to trade with the Reaver, and we'll attack with that. Looks like they drew another land. They're going to rummage it away. Bramble Armor. That's unfortunate. Okay, so we don't have good blocks anymore. They're likely going to attack. No blocks. We're still not dead to another Graph Reaver hit, and that was a great draw. So we're going to upkeep. So we need 4 mana for that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3 left over. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Let's go ahead and play Lantern Bearer. Oh no. Almost messed that one up. Cleave costs double blue. So we can chump the Graph Reaver with the Bearer, and we need to return the Colossus to their hand. And I suppose we don't necessarily need to do it on their turn. So let's go ahead and do that now. Draw our card. Oh, if we had 1 extra mana. What did I miss there? I thought we needed to cleave that for an... Oh, cleave is 3 and a blue. Okay, so we can play the Spirit. We'll go ahead and get in. Let's see, if they attack and then just play the Colossus. So they can't attack now. Well, this is going well for them. Yeah, so they are just dead. No, because this one can't attack. Alright, so when it attacks alone, it can't be blocked. So I suppose that's what we need to do. Alright, barely squeaked that one out to another mythic rare there. We were able to kind of delay it long enough to survive. I know it might be a little annoying to hear all the complaining about the rares and things, but it really does make a format much less enjoyable if someone just drops a card and then everyone just loses from there. You're not really playing the game because, you know, we've been playing really good back and forth games this whole time, and then all it takes is for one person to drop one of these cards, and then the game is just basically over and nothing you did before that mattered. So it's pretty frustrating when that occurs, and this format is starting to shape up as kind of that. So I'm hoping that changes going forward, and we can start kind of finding better homes for decks that can deal with that thing, or with any card that the opponent has the chance to cast. So Packsong Pup, you know, for curve considerations, I think I'm just going to go ahead and counter it. So we can play our Assistant next turn, which allows Chill and Lunar Rejection to be up now. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. So we'll play our Skulker now. Hopefully they don't have a Braid, but we don't really have an option. They have exactly a Braid. Ballista Watcher. Alright, do we have 2 creatures? We have 1, and it's not something we want to be exiling. So if we play our Skaab, we don't draw, but it is a zombie, makes this cheaper, and it has good blocks, and it doesn't flip it to night, so I think we have to do that. Alright, so this tells me they have some sort of trick here. So what I'm going to do is not block, next turn threaten the block, and then bounce it when they go for the trick. So geez. Okay, next turn they have a 4/4 Menace Haste. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to a creature and me. That's very nice. We're likely passing it back to Knight, which is not great. So we can cast Gutter Skulker on here to make sure it doesn't go to Knight for both of these creatures. And then we can bounce something or tap something down next turn. So I think that's what we have to do to make sure it doesn't go back to Knight here. And then we'll pass. So they're going to be playing a Volatile Arsonist, Menace Haste. Can't even block it. But we can block the Watcher. Although the Scob is going to not be able to block that. So let's go ahead and... These are both werewolves. We can cast this here. Do we want to chill or Lunar Rejection? I think we're going to go ahead and chill the Arsonist because this still has good blocks. I don't think they have... Yeah, so they're not getting priority anymore. So they don't have the trick up. And we'll just go ahead and flood out. We'll keep this up to block again. Even though now it goes to Knight, so that's really nice. Pass to attackers. No blocks. And then we'll bounce it. Again, playing on the back foot here. They're just going to have a bunch of 5/5s. So, and now we have another creature that can't block anything. Hopefully we draw a spell so we can double spell. Looks like we did, although I'm really not sure it's going to matter. Let's flip it back to day. They still have a 4/4 Menace that can ping things when it attacks. And then a 5/5, and it's going to turn into a 3/3. Or 4/3, I mean. So we have good blocks here, but we're pretty sure they have some sort of trick. So, yeah, so they definitely have a trick. We're likely going to have to triple block something. I don't know what. Probably the Arsonist, because I think that's the biggest threat here. Of course we can't. So we can not block and take 8 and go to 6. They're probably going to pass, and then they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. They can just basically ping us to death. Or we can block and get blown out. Let's go ahead and just block like this. Because if we try to double block the Arsonist per se, they are almost assuredly going to blow us out with something. And if we block with the Scob as well, if they have a removal spell for the Spirit, then we just get owned. If they have a combat trick, if it's +3/+3, then we still don't kill it, and we still get owned. So basically we just get owned here. So let's go ahead and let them use their trick. There it is. So good thing we didn't double block. Another indestructible creature. We'll go ahead, draw another land, and probably concede. Yep, 5/5 Menace, indestructible, Ballista Watcher can just ping us down, so we'll go ahead and kill that one. For your own drafts, if you see premium removal, take it. It is very important in this set. 4-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop. We're probably playing against an aggro deck, knowing our luck, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan this so we don't die on turn 4. Keep 6, and I hate you, Wanderlight Spirit, so we'll get rid of you. Alright. Yeah, we'll just get our creature down. Won't be blocking with it, but... Okay, so that lines up very poorly for us with our instance here. Because if we pass, it goes over to night. I think what we're going to do here is cast Lunar Rejection on their werewolf. Draw mono lands again, and then go get our splash. And don't block. How many times do we have to play against this card? At least we drew the removal for it. And I think we just have to do it now. So let's kill it. Can't even cast that yet, so we need to cast Chill of the Grave on their turn. Let's go ahead and pass. We have so many exploit creatures in the deck that I'm hesitant to want to block with the Dissenter, right? Because we can get back Hero's Downfall if we draw any of our other scobs that can exploit and get back an instant or sorcery here. So I think we need to chill the Alluring Suitor to make sure they don't attack with exactly 2 creatures. Well, no, we're going to go ahead and chill this one. There's the reason that I didn't want to block. Hacksong Pup going to start growing. Interesting choice not to play it pre-combat, but you know. So they did go 2 spells here. So we're kind of in the clear to not feel priced into casting 2 spells with this. So we can do Screaming Swarm, and the next turn we can sacrifice this and then hope we draw into something else, right? So right now, they don't have great attacks if they can't kill the Screaming Swarm, because to flip the suitor, they want to attack with 2 creatures, and one of them would get eaten if they attacked with any 2 of these along with the villager. So go ahead and drop that. Hope they don't have removal. They have something left in hand. Don't know what it is, though. Okay, so they're going to flip it to night here. Let's go ahead and see what we can find. So this leaves... yeah, this leaves mana up for Edgar, if we find him. Gift of Fangs, what can that kill? That can kill the pup before it gets out of control, and we need to draw that. So let's go ahead and keep that on top. Making sure it's not a secret vampire. Yeah, so before this gets out of control, we'll go ahead and kill it. We'll play this. So this is flipping back here. We'll go with Screaming Swarm. We'll attack that one up. I think we can get away with doing that because we have enough blockers on the back here. So let's go 1 attacker. Yeah, seems fine. Go ahead and mill them. Alright, so they get themselves a nice 2-for-1 here. Second time I've seen that card cast on the other side. Second time it gets a 2-for-1. So they do get to attack with exactly 2 creatures, transform it, but we can still trade, so at least there's that. So they can do it again. This one has Menace, does it not? So we can double block this. It'd be a 4/3. Because this has Menace, we need to double block it. They'll only be able to kill one, and we can still attack that, or do that next turn, and either one of these will trade with any other creature they have. So let's go ahead and block like that. Okay. Didn't realize we were all the way back at 6. That doesn't do a darn thing for us right now, so let's go ahead and pass and hope we don't die. That'll probably do it. 4 damage to a creature. We block one of them and take 5? Blockers will go down to 1. Sure, we'll put this second from the top, why not? And we'll draw one more land to end it there. Alright, so you know, it's almost like we're playing 26 lands in all of our decks here. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the 4th straight 2 and 3 here on the channel. I promise I'm better than this. I don't know exactly what's going on here because, honestly, I don't feel like our decks are too bad. So, you know, looks like that'll do it for today's video. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow for your daily